Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening on planet Earth, wherever you may be, fellow Earthlings. I can never do the finger thing. I've had an incredibly lazy day today. I haven't done anything. I've been sitting watching television all day long. It's been marvellous, simply marvellous. I can't explain it. The season's coming to an end, so the winter is a much, much more relaxing time for all of us here. The dolphin safari, usually we either close or ease up over the winter. Everything sort of relaxes a bit. Right, I got very rudely interrupted yesterday in the middle of one of my videos by my son when I was talking about the importance of free speech, so I want to elaborate a little bit more on that. And also on the Wally situation. Now, Wally just feels tired, worn down. She's not in hospital and she's not in prison, and she hasn't been arrested, okay? She just wants some time out. That's not to say she's never coming back on the internet or she's not coming back on YouTube. In fact, I know she wants to say thank you to all of you for the letters that you wrote to Tom Simpson. There hasn't been any response that I know of. There's a tiny bit of a development in that Wally has given me 2 separate in writing permission to deal with any data protection on her behalf, so I'm going to do that for her, and I'm going to do the best I can. No promises, but I'm going to do the best I can. At the very least, I'm going to try and get her answers. There's no such thing as a lifetime ban from YouTube or the internet. Okay, trolls they just trot shit out. They trot shit out. And they come out with an awful lot of nonsense that should really be ignored, largely. And some people are better at ignoring it than others. And you know who you are, because I had a conversation with a true lady who I consider one of the great regals of YouTube yesterday. I'm not going to say who, but you know who you are. Totally ladylike, rising above it, as many of the YouTubers do. Me, I getting a bit more gritty. So I will keep you informed as much as I can, but bear in mind everything I say. It's not just you guys listening. The trolls are listening. Now, the interesting thing is that the trolls are actually helping to build a case and build a picture with their constant tweets and their constant harassment, especially as Wally is not on the internet. She's invisible at the moment. And the Christopher Bouzy tweet, that was extraordinary, that he would suddenly bring her up. I think he did that because, well, he's a bully, and he thinks, well, she's a lady of advancing years who lives alone with her cats. She was my one big victory, and I don't think it was down to Bouzy, actually. I think I know who was responsible for it, and I don't think it was Ellie Hall either. So I think that was his reason for doing it, because he's losing his grip. He's got Nate the lawyer on his case. He's got everyone on his case. I see he's tweeting this evening that the lovely Megyn Kelly is now a single-purpose hate account, because she's done about 6 videos of Meghan Markle amongst her, 10,000 videos, because she's a journalist and she does current affairs. And Meghan Markle is current affairs because Meghan is currently paying and desperately trying to get out there in the press. She doesn't want privacy. She's there, and I've got to say, guys, there's a parody coming up. I saw that Variety video. When I showed it to my son, he actually thought it was a parody, someone else doing a parody of her. Anyway, we'll see what comes of that. But the other thing about Wally and Nate the lawyer and any of these things is that in this day and age of the internet, it's a very immediate, instant thing. So people want answers now. The wheels of justice, the police, lawyers, it moves far more slowly in the background. And trolls are very good at saying, oh, quick, give me the answer, tell me this, tell me that. No, and wouldn't they love to know? Their tweets are so off the mark. They haven't got a fucking clue what's going on, and I'm not going to enlighten them. I'd love to enlighten you guys, but I'm not giving them that. They're just putting their stupid little faces into the trap. Worse and worse and worse. Anyway, so I will keep you updated as much as I can on the Wally front. She just wants some time out, and isn't it interesting that Christopher Bouzy decides to try and provoke her for some reason or other. How despicable. And what was the other thing I was going to talk about? See, I've forgotten again now. Freedom of speech. Just remembered. So yes, freedom of speech. As I was saying the other day, it's a good thing that we can disagree with each other and exchange ideas. And I've never seen any of you lot be rude or nasty. And I actually see you talking to each other, and that's just fabulous. That's lovely. And especially when it comes to the royal family, we are all passionate about them. And we all relate to a particular member or another. Quite often we relate to a member of the royal family who's close in age to us. Princess Anne, when I was very little, of course she was a grown-up lady and getting married, but when I was little, she was my princess. She quite frequently wore tiaras. I did like Princess Margaret, but Princess Margaret was sort of my mum's era. My mother absolutely adored the Queen. My mother looked like the Queen, and my mother sounded like the Queen. I'll have to put some video up of my mum. We used to tease her for it all her life, and she used to say, "I don't sound anything like the Queen, darling." And we'd all piss ourselves laughing. Bless her. And then she saw herself on a video. I suppose she'd have been in her 70s, and she said, "Oh, I do look and sound like the Queen." In fact, when she was chairman of... she was chairman of East Sussex County Council. There was a lady who had turned 100, and they'd done a press thing, and the press turned up, and my mother was there to give her something. I don't know, like the Queen gives them a telegram. She got a telegram off the Queen. And my mum gave her whatever the presentation was, and all these dignitaries were there, and the old dear was in a wheelchair, and my mother bent down because she wanted to say something to her, and this old girl said to her, "You don't look anything like you do on the stamps, you know." And my mum went, "Oh," and turned her head for the camera. Click. So she'd always wondered. So my mum, the Queen and Princess Margaret. My mother liked the Queen Mother. My grandmother loved the Queen Mother. My grandmother loved Princess Diana as well. But some people love Prince Charles. They'll relate to him. And Camilla, if they're that age. William and Catherine, I love William and Catherine. They're not really my age group, but they're not that far behind me. They're like, I think about 12, 13 years behind me. And there's just different members. And the Duke of Edinburgh, I just thought he was hilarious. Talk about calling a spade a spade. The guy was just totally out there. I thought he was really funny. My father liked Prince Philip. So we all like a different member of the royal family, and when each members of the family appear to be at loggerheads, then the fans, or those of us supporters, I think is a better word than fans, we feel very defensive and protective of our favourite. And I don't ever want anyone on this channel to feel that people do say about Diana, she was manipulative. I think she was. I think she was a PR mastermind. I think she was a genius at PR. Meghan could learn a lot from her. I certainly don't have blinkers on that. I think Diana was a puritanical angel and all that, but she was an incredibly complex character. So don't ever feel that you can't say things about Diana that would be critical on my channel and that you'll get attacked. Not at all. And likewise, anyone who feels that I've been too critical to Charles or Camilla, say so. Say so and say, I don't think that was fair. That's what free speech, freedom of expression is all about. And I welcome that on my channel, 100%. Don't want anyone to ever feel they can't say something or they're bottling something up. Because I've watched some other YouTubers who like really lay into certain members of the family, and I have to turn them off, and I just think, you know, and I don't feel I can really say on their comments section, you know, I really think you were quite wrong there, or you were off the beat. So tell me how you feel. Which ones are your favourite? Why you like them? And I think that's pretty much the size of it, because I haven't been doing anything today. Don't make any noise, Ben. He's been sitting really, really good.
Hello.
I begged him. I have to beg my whole family. Please be quiet. Anyway, I'm sure you know how it is. Anyway, thoughts, opinions, always welcome. And I think tomorrow will probably be story time about the casino, because that is another story. Have a fabulous morning, evening, afternoon.